Welcome back to the 311 Griffin YouTube channel, and we're back in the tournament, and these are the games or the matches that we're going to be doing this time in order from, I think it was game 29 to game 36, match, whatever. And this time I'm actually using TAC view, so this video is going to be a lot longer, and I'm going to run through each matchup and then run through it in TAC view if TAC view adds any value at all. Right now we've got the Mirage 2000 versus the C101, and I might be repetitive as well because the things that I see here in this video I'll also talk about in TAC view. The C101 really messed up and turned way early, and the only thing that really saved it right there was the Mirage was going fast-ish. Not that fast, but the C101 was just going really slow. So basically they turned a bunch, and the Mirage, I was getting very, very impatient with the Mirage because it was in good position, but just wasn't, it stayed in a lag pursuit, and it wasn't doing any energy excursions to get into a lead position where it could take a shot. And I was getting very impatient thinking it was going to run out of fuel, but it was actually, it did a pretty good job of just being patient and staying back there. Right here, it was driving me nuts watching it because I'm thinking it's in perfect position. Like all it's got to do is just pull a little bit extra and it's got the shot. But so that was driving me batty. But you don't want to overshoot. You don't want to be put in a defensive position because of impatience. So I guess in this particular case, the Mirage did okay. So every once in a while it would just level out a little bit, and I don't know if it was the AI does weird stuff sometimes. It didn't level off enough to make me think it was really gaining that much speed back, but maybe it was trying to gain a little bit of energy, I don't know. And I really lost it right here. I was looking for it. I was looking for the C101. But there it is. I lost it in the sun, I guess. So, and you'll see that in the TAC view stuff. And the only thing of note here, I think, is the M2000 looked like he was going to climb early or something. I'm not sure. Maybe the C101 reacted first. But then the C101 just turned quite early, which, again, I said in a different video that you can turn early a little bit, and sometimes that helps you. But turning too early, it just allowed the M2000 to come in behind him, and he had to go really wide. He's got a lot more energy, a lot more speed, as you can see, speed especially. The M2000 throughout this, I'm going to speed it way up because basically what happens here is the M2000 does a great job of just staying behind the C101, and there were probably some opportunities in here where the M2000 could have gotten a shot. We're gonna look here and zoom in a little bit and try to stay behind him. Like right now, I think an energy excursion could have gotten him on target maybe there, but anyway, it's better to be patient and wait for a better opportunity than try to force it, because you definitely don't want to get like right here would have, every time they come around basically there's an opportunity, but you definitely don't want to get greedy or impatient and mess up and perform an overshoot. So and you can see that the C101 will turn in pretty tight, and then the M2000 will kind of straighten out a little bit, pick up a little bit more speed, and then turn back in. And there it is. So we'll let's back up real quick. And there you can see in the video I kind of lost track of the C101. I think, yep, the sun's right there. I lost in the sun. Whoops. Let's go back down here, unpause it, zoom in a little bit. I lost it in the sun, and then it got We're basically in a leading pursuit right now, and the M2000 is just trying to get the lead right. Now I'm wondering why I didn't pick it up again. That was kind of weird, because that was more like a pure pursuit. You'll see the nose is high because of gravity, but whoops, I missed the key. Anyway, things might be a little bit off there in TAC view, but that's that fight. All right, now we are at the MiG-15 versus FW-190A8. And in this particular fight, I suspected the MiG-15, well, the MiG-15 definitely has the advantage. It is pretty agile, and it is very fast. Now, the FW-190 can certainly turn well, and since it's going a little bit slower, it turns slower. So the MiG-15 gets his nose around pretty well, but about the time it passes, it wasn't even a second merge, the FW-190 got turned around, and he actually wound up, I thought he was going to shoot him right there, because those guys are usually pretty good at getting, in that particular type of situation, they're pretty good at getting lead and getting shots on target. He does this kind of cool, almost stall turn. I'm actually surprised that the AI did that, but maybe under some circumstances they don't mind running out of energy up there. Meanwhile, the MiG-15's gotten turned back around and almost got a shot there. Not quite. The MiG-15 really had a number of times where he got his nose around right here. He should have been able to set something up. I thought he was going to, but didn't quite get it done. There may be reasons why that didn't happen, but same thing here. Kept getting his nose turned around, just almost getting there. I kept expecting it to happen. And then here, the MiG-15 it was going fast enough that his turn circle was bigger, and the FW-190 was just in the right energy state, I guess. Got turned around and got a really good snapshot off there. So it looked like the MiG-15 was coming back to get vengeance. Got turned around and once again got into some pretty good positions. But I missed it, but he bailed out and died. So the FW-190 moves on. That was a bit of an upset. And again, we're going to try to speed these up because there's not a lot to see. One thing of note here, the merge happened pretty close. They got under 500 feet there. And I was interested. The MiG-15, obviously has the power here. Climbed, came over the top, and got turned around way faster. But the FW-190 kind of almost had an opportunity there. Not quite, but almost. And then again, because of the way that FW-190 turned, it's actually in pretty good shape here. However, the MiG-15 is really fast, so the FW-190 is not gonna catch up. Now here, this is interesting because we get kind of a cool stall turn here from the FW-190. He kind of comes over the top. So then the MiG should have had an opportunity there, maybe not. It was close. It was really close. Had a really weird turn here. Right here. And I'm not for sure that that's possible. I don't know what the game was doing there. Let's slow that down to half. Actually, let's slow it down even more. There we go. Watch this. We see the lift vector. Zoop! He does a 360 almost. Oh, it was weird. Okay. But really, throughout this fight, the MiG-15's got better opportunities and is in a way better position. It's getting its nose around faster, earlier, and that's what you want. This seems to be kind of a rate fight of sorts. I mean, I don't know for sure. I know the terms and I know kind of what means what, but in real world scenarios, it takes a lot more experience than what I have to know what's best. That was pretty even right there, and the FW190 got a really good snapshot. So there were a couple times early in the match where the FW190, they're really these pilots are really good. Every time I fly against them, they're really good. They seem to be kind of snipers of the sky. There were a couple opportunities that he had early on, but the MiG-15 actually was pretty much, maybe not in control of that fight, but definitely with the upper hand, but got hit anyway, and that's that. So now let's look at the F-15 versus F-14, and I left more of this footage in than I wanted to. It was an interesting fight, and it surprised me. So I guess, and the reason I left more footage in is because it was interesting. It wound up being a little bit boring-ish. It was almost like, this is almost like I guess a pitcher's duel in a baseball game. If you don't really understand what's going on, it's going to bore you to death because you want to see hits. But if you're really into baseball, you're going to love it. So I was actually very, very surprised that the F-14 had the advantage the entire time when it came to getting his nose turned around. And I wasn't expecting that. I really thought that the F-14 was going to do better. And again, I'm going to get repetitive here because I'm going to say some of the same stuff when I'm looking at the TAC view situation. But essentially what this fight between these two AI showed me was that I'm doing a terrible job flying the F-16 whenever I fight the Tomcat, because when I was in an F-16 fighting the Tomcat, I felt more like the Tomcat right now, with the Tomcat just basically staying behind me. The Tomcat wasn't swinging out as wide as this F-15 is against me, but it was a similar situation, and this F-15's getting his nose around a little bit quicker and is also maintaining a better energy state. And what you see is it was like 12 minutes of this where they just go back and forth, and a number of times, as we'll see when we look at TAC view, you can kind of see it here. There's a number of times where the Eagle should have been able to either try to get a snapshot, and they got really close there. Either try to get a snapshot or set up a better shot, set up a better offensive position, getting into position and solving the all of the geometric problems that have to be solved to get a shot off. Right here, this is what I want to see. If I'm in the Eagle's shoes, that's pretty much what I want to see. And again, I'm not an expert. I'm pretty weak when it comes to ACM, but there's a lot of people out there that'll know better than me what to do. But so far, when I've been fighting against AI aircraft anyway, if I can get behind them in a decent energy state with them going slower than me, climbing in front of me, then unless, almost looked like the Tomcat had a better position there, but unless they are unless I'm just going really, really fast and I know I'm going to overshoot, then I like seeing that, because I know that I can stay behind them. I know that I can start being a little bit patient and get my shot set up and let them kind of basically drift into my pipper and then take the shot. So I don't really know why the F-15 didn't manage to get something to happen there, but he didn't. And so about this time, I'm thinking somebody's going to run out of fuel. I don't know who it's going to be. We're already past the time when, and that should have been a shot. We're already past the time when the last time I saw the F-14 flying like that, he ran out of fuel, but instead the F-15 ran out of fuel. So he loses, and the F-14 moves on. This guy actually ran out of fuel later, trying to get to the airport. Okay, now this fight, I don't know that I even want to show it, but we're going to show it at really high speed. And basically, like you saw in the video, the F-15 had the advantage the entire time and is just buzzing this guy. And what this reminds me of, if you've ever seen a crow or a vulture getting harassed by sparrows, this is what this reminds me of. This F-14's just like, leave me alone, and the F-15 is just buzzing him. The main takeaway for me in this is that I'm terrible as a pilot, because when I fight the F-14, I feel like I'm more in the F-14's position, and the F-14's buzzing me like this, just staying behind me. Now, this is a little bit more even than what it kind of seems like to me. But because the F-14's getting his nose around, but the F-15 is conserving energy better, and like right there, there should have been, I feel like the F-15 could have had a shot there. If we watch this, let's zoom in here a little bit, turn it down, play it. You know, I feel like he could have had a snapshot, or if he would have reversed a little bit earlier, maybe, although the F-14's a little bit closer to bringing his nose around than it looked like. So I don't know, I could be wrong. There are a number of situations in here where I really feel like that F-15 should have been able to salvage something, but he didn't. And of course, as you saw in the video, he had to eject because he ran out of fuel first. I really kind of thought that and here's another one. This was probably the best situation for this F-15. I am pretty positive I could have won that fight right there. If not right there, I could have stayed in position to win it. That's kind of for me, I'm a noob. I'm kind of a novice, but whenever I'm dogfighting in any of these jets, that's the position that I want to see when they're climbing with, you know, my energy state isn't terrible. Let's come around here. So he's higher, but much slower than the F-15. You can bleed off energy pretty easily to stay behind here. I guess the only bad part, well, no, let's look at this guy. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this position for the F-15. I'm pretty sure most of us could have salvaged something out of that, and he didn't, and he wound up bailing out. So even if you didn't get the shot there should have been an opportunity for a shot pretty soon after that. But he goes back to the harassing and buzzing and wasting fuel. So I think they got close, very close in one of those situations, around 300 feet before the fight was over. Anyway, that's all we're going to watch of that one, because there he bails out. Consequently, the F-14 also bailed out. Could have made it back to the base, but didn't know how to land and wound up having to bail out because he ran out of fuel too. So now we've got the Mi-8 versus, I think that's the Su-27. I'm not looking at my bracket right now. And I really want to see this Mi-8 just light somebody up with all these guns. Those are all guns, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. I think those are all gun pods. I believe they even say that they're gun pods. So these guys are thinking, hey, did he see us? Did that guy see us? Is he going to engage? Is he turning around? Somebody look back and see if he's turning around. Yeah, it looks like he's turning around. He's turning around over there. I see him. But he's doing it really slowly, like he's going to land. Keep an eye on him, comrade. I don't think that's a Russian helicopter. I think I've got it set as something else. So yeah, he's ignoring them. I hate these, so I'm gonna have to leave. If I do this again in the future, I think I'm just gonna have to leave the helicopters out. They mess it all up. He's not seeing us. He didn't see us. He left. He's going to land. So the Su-27 kind of like balked at the landing. The Mi-8 lands. The Mi-8's out. Get out of here. And the Su-27, I'm disappointed in him as well, which is rare. I really like that aircraft. Moving on. Now, once again, we got a similar situation. We have a UH-1 versus an F-86 Sabre, and I really want this door gunner to light up the Sabre. Of course, I want the Sabre to shoot the Huey as well. We're going to watch a little more of this one just because there's a part that kind of got funny. And actually, spoiler alert, I'm going to call an audible on this one. So we're going to make up our own rules on this one here in a minute. But this guy's going into land, and since the UH-1 is really slow, the Sabre got there first. He's not even looking at his landing. He's looking at the helicopter like he's worried he's going to shoot him. And I don't know why he didn't bother shooting him first. Like that helicopter would have been a sitting duck. Sabre's just got to get behind it. And then there's shots. This are the only shots that the UH-1 door gunner ever fired in this entire bracket. So I'm thinking, okay, he's going to shoot him again. He's going in for the landing. We got door gunners. We got front-facing miniguns. This is going to be good. It's going to be really good. Here we go. He's lining up on him. He's going to destroy this stupid airplane. No, he didn't. Okay, door gunner, you get him. I mean, look at him. He's concentrating. He looks mad. And then I realize he's just catatonic. I mean, there's the plane right there. This guy hates his job so badly that he's just staring off into space until he can get out of this helicopter and go to the break room. What a waste. So, according to my normal rules, the Sabre landed first, yes? And the helicopter fired shots, so that made me happy. But these helicopters are terrible. They're absolutely terrible in this bracket, and they're not doing anything. So I decided, I'm calling an audible. Whoever's engine shuts down first loses. So let's speed it up here. The helicopter's already shut his engines down. It's just spooling down. I'm sending the Sabre on. And now we've got the P51 Mustang versus the JF-17 Thunder. And they've changed something at some point, and I think this happened some time ago and I just haven't been flying the Mustang, but they changed something with the spec layer on this. That last skin that I had in the last round of the bracket, or maybe the one before that, was a skin that I'd made that I really like, but part of it looked really, really cool, and then the other part didn't, and I went back and edited the spec layers to make them proper according to what it looked like was going on, and they're not right. And clearly this one's not right either. This one's shiny in all the same places that other one was, and I don't really get what's going on, but that's not what this is about. I was really impressed with how the Mustang got turned around. I don't suspect that the Mustangs got any chance against the JF-17, and what they wound up doing was what most of the time happens in these matches where I have a World War II fighter against a modern jet fighter. The jet just kind of takes off. The Thunder was less chicken. It didn't take him nearly as much time to get turned around as most of the fighter jets have been. And there they both kind of fired some shots. The Mustang got some shots on the Thunder, and some deadly shots according to positioning. Shot placement was really good, and this Mustang was getting them right up front, right in the nose in the cockpit. But as you can see there, the Thunder just had to hit once with a burst and killed the pilot actually. So the Thunder's cannons are superior to the Mustang's 50 caliber guns, and the Thunder moves on. You can see it's just shot up all over the nose. I didn't look to see what equipment got damaged on the Thunder, but anyway, the Mustang did a good job there. I was actually really, really impressed with the Mustang. There wasn't much to look at from a ACM standpoint, but anyway, the Thunder moves on. We'll speed it up here in a minute. I want to see this part. So they both kind of go vertical. which is interesting. Oh, that P51 just did some funky business too. The P51 got around really quickly. Of course, he's out of energy, out of speed anyway, so he couldn't really do much with it. But good job of getting around. And this is kind of interesting right here. The Thunder kind of completes the circle. Nice little roller coaster loop there. But the P51 whips around again and is actually in pretty good shape. But that JF17 just has too much power, right? So they're 3,800 feet apart. There wasn't really a shot there. And then we go into the old fly around and make a pass at each other kind of a thing. And these AI, they always seem to have trouble lining up. So we had shots put out. One of these passes, the P51 actually got some hits on. See, they're having a little bit of trouble lining up, but they get there. And I think on one of these passes, they didn't shoot at each other. Yep, that's the one. Goes way out again, turns back in. Whoops, I'm always backwards on the scroll. Getting on target. Oh, missed. They were so close. Let's back that up. Yeah, 44 feet away. That's awesome. 44 feet away. They both shot. That's the one where the JF17 took some hits. Oh, I'm backwards again. I should have sped that up. And that's a kill shot. He took more hits, but survived. So that's that one. And now we have the AV-8B NA versus a Spitfire. And of course the Harrier just drops his gun pods. He's like, this ain't my job. That guy and the Vigan are the kings of not my job. So he goes high and the Spitfire chases. And as you'll see in the TAC view, this was literally just a matter of the AV-8 turning circles around the Spitfire turning circles inside the AV-8, every once in a while popping some shots off from about 3,500 yards. None of them ever really got that close. And then the AV-8 had to bail. So that's all there is to this fight. So after about 30 minutes, I just started speeding it up, and I think it still went another 2 or 3 minutes of me speeding up and slowing down, trying to get shots. I think at one point the Spitfire got under 3,000 feet from the Harrier, and I thought that was going to be it, but it wasn't. And eventually, the Harrier pilot bailed out, and I don't even think I caught it on camera, and I was so bored I didn't go back and pick it up. At least there were shots being fired in this fight. So, you know, props to the Spitfire for trying, but it was really a boring fight, probably the longest lasting one I've seen so far, and that's it. The Spitfire moves on. Whoops. Right off the bat, he just drops his gun pods. So, and then it was really a matter of the Spitfire just chasing the AV-8. Just chasing him. And at points he would get around 3,200 feet away, something like that. Usually didn't take the shots then, but would take them around 3,500, I guess. So it was basically just a bunch of that. Woo! It's fun to watch. And I'm not going to sit here and watch all this because we already saw it, but it's just pot shot after pot shot after pot shot after pot shot. It's kind of a pretty deal there, I guess. We're getting close to the end. And he bails. That's it. That's all we need to watch about that. Sorry for not going through more detail on that one, but I can't do it. I can't bring myself to do it. And now we come to what is probably the most disappointing fight of this entire tournament. We have the F-16 versus the FW-190, and by the end of this, you'll see why it was very disappointing. This match went a very long time, and well, I'll just tell you, nobody fired a shot. They both had plenty of chances to fire shots, but they didn't, because they did the whole multiple passes straight at each other, nose on, and they just kept veering off to the side. And it was just such a letdown because these are two beautiful aircraft. I absolutely love the way the BF-109 looks. This paint scheme is really cool. It sounds amazing. This aircraft is probably my favorite aircraft just based on sound within DCS. Of course, I love the F-16. This particular skin I downloaded, I need to look up whose it is. I'll probably talk about this in a different video, but I used to work about a mile away from where these guys are stationed and got to watch them fly all the time. It was really cool. There's some discrepancy with that skin, just barely, but actually maybe not. But anyway, it's a full color Indian head on the tail now, I believe. So anyway, great looking skin though, is very well done. But here you'll see what I'm talking about. And this happened probably 12 times, 8 times, 10 times, 12 times, I don't know exactly, but it was a lot, where they just kind of fly at each other. And somehow I missed that. And then, oh yeah, here we go. And then they just veer off to the side, like, whoop, don't want to touch that guy. And then this happened. He didn't even run out of gas. At least the F-15 ran out of fuel. The F-16 leaves the tournament, landing safely at Nellis. So disappointing. So the only fun I had was listening to this thing fly by. So anyway, that's that. He moves on.